Hello and welcome to the Neville Richards Premier League. Mark Hayes, Matt Milne, mate, one of the storied rounds of this, glorious competition.
It was hazy. We had weather conditions in the morning were fantastic, and then in the afternoon they turned a bit nasty. We had a little bit of rain, sort of some thunder and lightning. Looked like it was going to affect our round in the PM field, but we got through unscathed, and we did have a couple of players withdraw due to, as you could say, being soft. They were waiting for the warning siren.
I thought you might have just given him a little leeway, but no.
No. There was we did send out a preemptive text saying the warning siren may happen due to the lightning, but it didn't come. But they still come off the course.
Really?
A couple of them. So yes, and I won't name Gary Thompson, Peter O'Neill for two that I know of anyway, but Manny Golfers was another one. So
did they misinterpret the text, or are they just soft?
No, I think they saw some lightning in the distance and they just thought it was better for them to come in.
Around Cape Shank?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Really?
But no, anyway, it was a great round. We had a couple of upsets, and the top four starting to look like it's getting pretty settled, and next week's going to be a cracker.
Well, I don't want to. Let's start from the top here. I don't want to say I told you so, but the Peakers, they've sagged.
They have. Those silicon implants have popped, which their season might have popped as well. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. The Hookers, the Hood Road Hookers, defeated the Peakers 164 to 156. The Hookers again had 10 players, while the Peakers only had the 7, which has a little bit of an impact there. So for the Hookers, we had Lynn Kirby stand up last. So she has copped a little bit the last few weeks, but yeah, she kicked up with a 37 points.
Okay.
The President had 35, Al Sweeney, ever consistent, 33, Jill Barker 30, and then we had the dog groomer Ian Woodhouse and Ian Party had 29, while for the Peakers, ever consistent Peter Vogel had 33, Bull Thompson 32, the Greek god Yanni Lathouris 32, while Buffett had 30 and Norma had 29. So didn't quite get it done. It was a good win by the Hookers. As a team, they're just very consistent. They all stand up and they just keep moving on. Well, as you said, Hazy, the Peakers, they have sagged, and it's not long and they'll be dragging along the fairways, I would think. Yanni and the Vogels couldn't prop up the team without the stalwarts of McMuffin, who was on the Gold Coast watching the Cats and other things. Chrissy Dodds had his son's Bucks party of all things, so he was paintballing, so he couldn't play. And Julie Milne wasn't here. That really hurt. You could actually say that the last 5 weeks, the Peakers are probably the worst performed team in the league.
They looked bulletproof for quite a while.
They did.
And now
they're just limping into the finals.
Yeah.
But they are there, though. I suppose that's one thing.
That is very true. Now, the second game we need to discuss, Matty, the Goblins and the Bullies.
Yes, Goblins got over the top of the Bullies in this contest, 164 to 159. For the Goblins, we had old Rick O'Shea Edmondson had 34, as long as Toby Prime had 34. He made a sharp improvement from last week's 20 or 19 or something that he had.
Yeah, he responds well to the whip, Toby.
Yeah, he did.
We put him under it last week, so good bounce back.
Yeah, it must be his birthday coming up too soon, because I noticed his wife purchased a gift voucher from the pro shop last night, so might be another year older too, so hopefully that improves his game with experience.
Hopefully it wasn't a surprise birthday voucher.
Well, maybe not. Could be, who knows. Sorry, Angela and Emma. But anyway, Dan Hopgood had 33. Pete DeFazio, he had 32. He responded. And the two consistent players of the Goblins, Flea Pollock and Gary Hayward, 31. So they were their scorers. While the Bullies had a big return to form from Kevin Hudson, who had 37. Swaney had 32. Bill Reid, 31. John Wooden, 30. And Jackie Rowe, 29. They were the scorers for the Bullies.
This is unrelated, but I just want to give a quick shout to the men's knockout final coming up. The youth policy of the club really starting to pay off. The grand final between Pete DeFazio and Ian Lachlan. Really,
yes.
You know, the junior talent identification's really coming.
It is, yes. Finals on this Sunday at 11 a.m. So if anyone wants to come down and watch Pete and Ian battle it out in the handicap match play final, feel free. It should be a good tussle. Pete's only 110 in age, and I think Ian's about 90. But no, in all seriousness, great effort to get through all 64 players and reach the final. Getting back to our Goblins, solid win. Their worst score actually was 30 points.
Yeah, that's really
And that was
impressive.
Robbie Moorcroft, so his score didn't count. But and then, as I said, Toby and Pete responded for the grilling. We did give a big bake to the Bullies last week for some response from 3 of their players in particular. Let's say Kevin Hudson had 37, so he responded to
Very well
the
played.
bake, and he actually came in and said that really inspired him to perform. The other 2 was Chris James and Wayne Dixon. Wayne had 28 and Jamesy had 23. So I'm not going to say any more, but I'll go back to Kevin though. In his 37 points, he did have a wipe and 1 point in the last 3 holes.
Did he really?
So if he had have actually
Wow.
finished 3 points, and his normal score, they would have won. So maybe he did cost the Bullies as well. The win.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. He's doing a lot of work down at Keezer, and I think it's really starting to pay off.
It is, yes, yeah. He's a recipient of one of our Keezer awards that we've had here, and he's gone down to work on his body to help with his golf, and it seems to be starting to come into fruition.
Maybe a few others could tend that
Yes.
way. Don't want to say too much. Now, the third game we had was, well, it wasn't really much of a contest, to be honest. The Pirates and the Crusaders.
Yes, the Pirates got over the top, 167 to 154. The biggest margin between the two sides for the round this week. The Pirates also win our Callaway prize. They were the highest scoring team with 167.
Well done.
So for the Pirates, the champ, Mickey McNeil, 39, Darren Heaton, 34, Johnny Crossett and Yvette Pollock had 32, while Joy Francis and Solahub, their 30 score, one of theirs counted, while the Crusaders, the Comet, the Comet come through with a score. Benny Hoskin, 32, Hazelnuts Billy Adams had 31, Jan Cogger had 30, and Rob Stiglbauer 30. That brings me, Hazy, how did the bet end up?
How many did Jan Cogger have?
She had 30.
Oh, it's disappointing, isn't it, when you needed 55 points in 2 rounds and you have 25 in the first and 30 in the second, but because you're penalised 2 shots for being scared of a little bit of water, you need 57. It's a bit, it's a bit, well, it's a bit warm on my cheeks.
So is there any negotiation on
No.
prize? No, she took it on the chin?
She took it on the chin. She is a trooper, and we're very much looking forward to the Where's Wally outfit coming out, hopefully this Saturday, for the Tornadoes' last game of the year.
Well,
the Crusaders' last game of the year.
Well,
right?
then again, like it is red and white, swans. She loves her swanny, so I'm sure she'll be happy to wear that.
And they're going well too, so I'm sorry, Jan. It was a good, gutsy effort, but you needed probably another couple of weeks of, I don't know, was research? Did she play any golf in New Zealand?
No, she didn't, no.
No. Oh, well.
Had a fresh break and come back with 30, which is probably close to her best score for the season, so she's like a good racehorse, sprints well fresh.
Anyway, whiskers are safe. The red and white out for Jan this weekend, so be sure to take a photo and just have a little mention of it to her in her ear.
Yeah, exactly. So with this match, the Pirates redeemed themselves after blowing last week's match altogether. They have kept their finals aspirations alive. You'll notice that with the Pirates, Justin McGrath didn't score this week. 17 points on the front nine, Hazy, and only 10 on the back, finishing 1 point wipe. I think it was said that his head was seen rolling down the ninth fairway as he was going down there. The Crusaders missed the experience and reliability of Sue Holland and Johnny Leaking. The Pirates, they actually did have the return of the great white hope, Gary Thompson, as mentioned earlier, made a birdie on 11 and then decided to pull out. He has had 5 weeks in Thailand. I'm not sure whether it was injury related with that groin again or whether it was due to the lightning that he saw. Hopefully he hasn't had a recurrence of injury.
Oh, it's a pretty nasty injury. I shouldn't laugh about that one.
No, he was sore in the groin and down the thigh.
Yeah,
he might have re-injured that because he played about half a dozen games in Thailand.
Did he really?
Yeah, so he played while he was over there. So,
I heard that.
but yeah, no, I think it was more the thunder was why he was withdrawing from Saturday.
Which brings us to the last game. I've not laughed like that all season, but anyway, the Warriors and the Tornadoes. Now, the Warriors, man, I haven't looked really much at the scores here, but surely they just got over the line because, they had it all in front of them.
This was the game to win. Earlier in the season, round 7, they lost to the Tornadoes. That was the Tornadoes' first win for the year, and they've pulled their pants down again. The Tornadoes, 155 to 148.
Oh.
You can't blame the lack of players because the Warriors had 5 and the Tornadoes only had 6.
Wow.
The Warriors, Darren Wilson 32, Stewie Anderson, Jeanette Johnson, had 30, Ando and Skeeter had 28, while the Tornadoes, Belly must have got rid of the Shanks, he had 37.
Well
His
done.
best score for the year. Paul Kirby had 33, Paddy Kennedy 31, Ange Foot 30, and Judy Said actually 24. That score counted for them and they still got over the line.
They won with the 24.
One with a 24. And I'll just say something hazy, like I searched up Warriors online over the weekend, and this is what come up. It was disgraceful, wasteful, disappointing, disgruntling, displeasing, dissatisfying, heartbreaking, demoralising, depressing, discouraging, disheartening, dispiriting, discomforting, and disconcerting.
Discomforting.
Yeah, I thought Warriors were supposed to be strong, but it seems they're like a Turkish delight. Look great on the outside, but shit in the middle. There is one player for the Warriors I'd like to single out, and that's Richie House. Pains me, he's a Hawthorn supporter like us.
Yeah.
He's talked up Premier League to his playing partners and everyone around.
Yep.
Then when he was needed most, he went to a niece's engagement party in Queensland. Went and sunned himself up while his team was getting their pants pulled down by the Tornadoes.
Richie.
Disappointing. As I said, Tornadoes, another fantastic effort. Belly pulled one out. I'm so proud of Paul Kirby. As soon as there's a sign of rain, he'll pull out. But he went through the afternoon with Lynn. Maybe she was playing well, and that's why he kept going, because no one else would play in the group because they all pulled out. Like Paddy Kennedy, even 5-putted the second, and they still win. Shows how poor the Warriors were on the weekend.
5 putts the second green.
Yep.
He must have been a long way away from the hole.
Nah, hit into about 8 feet and then 5-putted.
Wow.
But yes, so the Warriors have really put their finals jeopardy at risk.
Yeah. Well, it's very disappointing. Speaking of the finals, massive shake-ups on the ladder. Let's have a quick look at that. And on the other side of the ladder, we've got a couple of very special guests. As promised, we've got a couple of special guests. You wouldn't have ranked them as hookers at the start of the year, would you? But anyway, nonetheless, Alan Sweeney, Ian Woodhouse, welcome along, gentlemen.
Thank you.
How are you, gents? Good to see you.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Matt.
And it's a pleasure to be here. We're nearly top of the range. We've got one more day to go, Al, and we're there.
We're top of the ladder, mate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, one more round to go, and we're there.
We got the chocolates.
We thought we'd have to prompt you guys to
No,
sort
you
of
don't
talk it
have
up.
Just settle down. We're the stars of the show. You just answer our questions.
So you've gone this far, Al. What do you got to see now to kick on and really take that minor premiership and go a bit further?
We need a couple of our team members really to lift. Most of them have been pretty consistent throughout the year, but I must admit, my dear friend Kenny Hughes, he's
Sweeney's sword just straight through. He's made his way through the team.
he needs to fire up.
It must be these chairs, Woody. Have you got a thought about who needs to lift?
I think we've got a couple of blokes in the team that's really got to start to put in. Is my mate Ian Party. He's done it once, but that's about it. And we got Kinky King. Now, he really needs to lift his game. He really talks about it a lot.
Does he?
But he doesn't put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I played with him on Saturday, Ian, and he was going okay, and then all of a sudden he just fell in a heap. His putting could do a bit better, couldn't it?
Oh,
I think
a lot better.
A lot better, yeah.
Do you know that when he appeared on this video that he became a bit of a rock star around town?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
It might have been Maddie's daughter that lifted him a bit.
Might have been.
Might have to cut that.
I'm walking away from that. You got any
No, I think that might be enough from these two gentlemen.
Okay.
But thanks for joining us, lads. Hopefully you get over the top this week. Who have you got? You've actually... danger game, the Tornadoes, who are coming off a win. So hopefully you gents can get over the top of them.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll be there. We'll be out there battling, won't we?
We will.
Yeah.
We are battlers.
We are. Yeah, for
We'll
sure.
resume normal service in just 2 seconds.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the boys for coming in there. We've reorganised the furniture. Had to sort of straighten ourselves out a bit. You know, the two thin blokes are left here now.
Could you believe how much they talked? We didn't even have to prompt them.
We asked them maybe if they could give us 30 seconds.
And they just waffled like we do, I suppose. They probably learnt from us.
Nothing catching in these chairs. But thanks to the boys for coming back in. Didn't mince words with some of their teammates.
No, they didn't. You'll notice that they were dressed well. They're actually out this morning, Monday morning, helping with the work and be with the guys on course, trying to get the course beautified up for the Carnival of Golf coming up in a couple of weeks.
Full credit to them and all the volunteers out there. We're very grateful for their efforts. Everyone should be. Now, Matt, that leaves us with the previews. We've sort of half started the hookers, given the bake the boys gave there. So let's keep going with the hookers and the Tornadoes.
Yeah, so this round here is, if we go back to the equivalent round last season, it was a round of upsets, and I'm not sure whether they can repeat themselves. Looks as though the top three on the ladder's sorted, and it looks like only fourth place is up for grabs. Hookers, Goblins and Peakers have assured their place in our final series. And if the Hookers win this week, they'll definitely finish on top and assure the double chance. So depending on results for the Goblins and Peakers of where they finish. But we'll start off with the Hood Road Hookers and the Tornadoes this week. The Hookers first on the ladder and the Tornadoes 8th. But it's not so clear cut with the Tornadoes winning last week. Last time they met, only 5 points separated them actually. So it was Hookers got over the line 162 to 157. Sweeney, actually Kenny Hughes, John Bowman and Gilly starred for the Hookers last time they met, while the Sword, Sean Ward, the Orchid Hill, Phil Stevens and Jeff Holland contributed for the Tornadoes. I think weighted numbers might be too much for the Tornadoes this week, with the Hookers consistently having their players there. The Tornadoes are only playing for pride, but they can influence the finals race.
They've done a fair bit of damage in the last month.
Yeah, they have. Yes, and I reckon they'll a bit of pride here. I think is if they can win and the Crusaders lose, they'll go above them on the ladder, and the Crusaders will finish on the bottom. So yeah, I reckon the Tornadoes will probably have a go, but I think the Hookers with that top place there might be a bit too strong for them.
Pretty consistent lately, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them just finish with the minor premiership, which leads us to the second match, Matty. The Goblins, the second place Goblins against the Crusaders. So 1v8 and now 2v7. Yes,
and the last times they met, actually the Goblins lost.
Oh.
They lost 161 to 163, so it was another tight tussle. Flea, Hoppy and Haywood were the leading scorers for the Goblins, while Sue Holland dominated this contest last time out and was ably supported by Normie Evans and Brian Hazel. Crusaders are really only playing to avoid finishing last, which I'm sure they wouldn't want to have, and the Goblins, if they can win, will probably finish second, so on percentage over the top of the Peakers. So there's still a little bit to play out in this one here. Saying that though, the Goblins will need the core of their team to play, because they'll still be without Jen Edmondson, Dave Milne. Not sure if Rick Edmondson can repeat last week's performance, because he normally, like the Saints, can't put two together, just one, and then goes into hibernation. But I think the Goblins will have too much to play for that second place and the double chance.
Yeah, so the permutations and combinations here, we'll wrap them up, but the Goblins need to win and the Hookers need to lose for them to be a switch there. So keep an eye out for that one. Now the third match, Matty, is the third place team, the Peakers, who are going down like the Titanic, against the Bullies, who are sixth.
Yes, and the last time they met, the Peakers lost in an upset. So this is where the rot happened.
Yeah.
So the Bullies inflicted the Peakers' first loss of the season, and since then, the Peakers have gone 2 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses. Since that. So the Bullies popped the Peakers in that area. So Yarny, Pete O'Neill and Bull Thompson were best for the Peakers on that occasion, while Johnny Wooden, Swaney and Malsey stood up for the Bullies in that match. I'm not sure whether psychological damage to the Peakers has occurred from that loss. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to... Peakers would like nearly a guaranteed every week, but now I don't know. But maybe this might be the time that Chris James and Wayne stand up for their team. Last game of the season, no pressure. Bullies can't really make the finals unless the Pirates and the Warriors tie, and then the Bullies win by 220 points, which I don't think will happen from a percentage perspective. But yeah, pressure's off now, so maybe they might play a bit more freewheeling golf and slide in with a little 40 points.
The Peakers can theoretically still finish on top of the ladder if both the Hookers and the Goblins lose ahead of them. They can still jump back to the top where they've been most of the year, to be fair. But right now it's sort of going south, and that's the big issue.
It is, yes.
Which, Matty, sets us up for, well, it's a final before the finals, to be honest. It's 4th versus 5th. The Pigden Street Pirates, who've They've been hot and cold, but their good is really good against the 20-acre Warriors who've had the thesaurus thrown at them this morning.
They have, and it's going to continue. No, it's not going to continue this time. No, last time they met, the Warriors actually lost to the Pirates, so not good from a form perspective. Last time they met, it was 165 to 154, so it was actually a big loss. The Warriors were best performed last time by Neil Keskinen, Stu Anderson, and Darren Wilson, while Solahub, Juzzy McGrath, and Gary Thompson were the leading scorers for the Pirates. It's not only match of the round, but it's probably the grudge match of the round as well.
Is it?
There's a lot of permutations in this game with players, and I might just go through them here. So
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
yes, it will be. Just bear with me. Might take a little while. Like you've heard of Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, Volkanovski versus Holloway, Carl Lewis versus Ben Johnson, Greg Norman, Nick Faldo, Tiger and Phil, Hawks and the Cats. Now we have the Warriors and the Pirates.
Really? Can you just run me through who the Irish UFC fighter came
Conor?
up against? Yeah,
Khabib.
Yeah, who did he go?
Nurmagomedov. Just Khabib.
Okay.
But anyway, so we've got, for the Warriors, Ando will be up against the red-hot Mickey McNeil at the moment. Play together every week. Sledging's already started. I think Mickey might have overtaken Gary as the most influential player in the league. Ando, you need to pull your digit out and back up the talk. Otherwise, the Schlick will have bragging rights over you for the next 12 months.
Should there be a bet on this one that we instigate?
I think they should have something on it for sure, because this is like top of the range.
Is this
game.
like 2 pots and 2 palmies, or what is this?
I reckon it should be a night out at Parker's Steakhouse maybe for them.
Wow, there we go.
Yeah, for them and their partners. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Loser pays.
All right. Well, we can condone that, so we'll confirm that during the week. But that's Parker's Steakhouse.
Yep.
I like it.
Cool. So we've got Nipper Dodds, a Warrior, Johnny Crossett, a Pirate. Same thing, play together every week. Johnny's a little bunter down the fairway, while Nipper's the big, strong, long, crooked hitter. Not sure whether slow and steady will prevail or hard and fast in that part. We've got Skeeter Howard from the Warriors and Yvette Pollock from the Pirates. Skeeter plays with Flea, Yvette's husband, all the time. I'm sure he's given her some inside knowledge. Skeeter has trouble getting putts in from 10 centimetres.
Really?
And having single-digit scores on 9 holes as well. I'm not sure how Skeeter's going to handle Yvette hitting at 30 past him every time. We have a husband and wife combo. We've got Helen and John Powell. Johnny missed last week due to COVID protocols, and unfortunately Helen's been out with some medical issues. So maybe if the Warriors can get over the line, she might be a late inclusion for the finals. But yeah, so bragging rights within that household. And then the big part of the grudge match is Darren Wilson and Richie Howes from the Warriors and Justin McGrath from the Pirates. These blokes play together most weeks. The banter and sledging has been phenomenal. 7:45 first tee Saturday morning, they'll be at it again. Justin has the scoring advantage over the other two, but coming into finals are a different thing. He might go like his footy team, North Melbourne, I'm not sure. Richie, by the way, the spray you copped earlier on was courtesy of McGrath and your teammate Wilson. So that was from them, internal fighting maybe. And then I suppose 2 other players in the Pirates, Pete Solab and Darren Heaton. Well, they don't have any friends at all, so they'll have a rivalry with everyone.
That's one of the more comprehensive reviews. That was like the appeal to try and get Patrick Cripps off.
Yeah, well, it's about doing research, and this round's an absolute cracker. So we've got the final round this week, and then we have a week off for Carnival of Golf, and then we get straight into the finals.
But we do need to let you know that we're going to do a separate video here, and we'll send it out to everyone through the email channels about how to get tickets organised for the presentation night on Saturday, 17 September.
Yep.
Straight after the grand final, we'll go into the view room and tie one on.
Yes, it's going to be a great night. Lots of awards being handed out. You'll have some great compares hosting the evening. They'll provide some insightful thoughts of the season, and we'll try not to get it too much like a Brownlow medal. We'll try and keep some entertainment and fun in it. But yeah, the 2 hosts are really looking forward to it.
One's going to be very resplendent, I believe. At least one, maybe 2. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what might pop out of the wardrobe.
Big thanks to Neville Richards for supporting this diatribe. Not sure how comfortable Luke Campbell and the team are with your thesaurus work.
It's what I do on a Saturday night.
Thanks to Neville Richards. They've been awesome supporters of the tournament all year. One round to go, then we settle up for finals. Matty, can't wait. Thanks for your great research.
Thank you, Hazy. It's going to be a cracking weekend.